All right, Alex, all the way from New York City. The show is yours. The floor is yours, right? So, man, take us through Booker. What is this thing? What are we looking at?
All right, awesome. Thanks, Wes. So what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at the best-in-class software solution for the health, wellness, and beauty industry. So really providing a end-to-end solution for our clients. If we think on a simple level, just so it's relatable, salons and spas, how they're running their business and giving them the tools. Really for everything from booking that first appointment through checking out a client, keeping track of that client, and reaching back out to them. We provide that end-to-end solution for our merchants.
Okay. So health, wellness, and beauty. I mean, are those the only ones?
Yeah. So we're driving right down that fairway, just to throw some other, because salon and spa, that's kind of intricate. There's a lot that's involved in that.
Okay.
So we can think of like cryotherapy businesses, chiropractors, acupuncturists, float spas, medical spas, even going down the path of, tanning, waxing, things like that. But we are pretty targeted right at that industry. And if you think really one-to-one services, so, a service provider to one actual client, that's kind of our niche.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. So what you can see right now is actually the back end of Booker. Just to give a little bit of a roadmap, I always like to start with the client experience. I think that's really important for anyone to really see, what your clients are going to be interacting with. Especially in this space, client experience is paramount.
Right.
So we want to make sure that that's, really comfortable for your clients. So we have one of our current clients, Myri Salon. They've been with us for years. Actually have multiple locations with us now. They're a really great example. They use a lot of different tools within Booker in terms of loyalty and retention tools, as well as, the standard booking CRM and POS functionality.
Okay.
If we move kind of over to their booking engine, this is really where Booker comes. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a screen switched on me. Never mind. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I was like, what am I looking at? Oh, there it is.
No, I get it. So I want to take you through what that looks like. So you'll notice, of course, their color scheme throughout. We're going to select essentially a location here, either in Exeter or Portsmouth. And this is where Booker comes into play. So when I click on that button, this can tab out. It can refresh in the same page. What it's going to load is basically a mobile-friendly booking engine. The client can customize the color scheme behind it, make sure there's that brand continuity as their clients move from their website to our engine. And they're able to actually interact with the business at any point in time, be that booking, be that purchasing, let's say a gift certificate, or logging into their account to see when an upcoming appointment is.
So what we're looking at here, is this what the general public would see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. If you clicked on Book Now on any Booker client's website, this is what you're going to see. Aside from a few that do access our APIs, of course, it's important to mention that we do have clients that want to fully white label and custom brand. For that, we do offer access to our APIs, which is nice as well.
Okay.
Right. So just to kind of walk through this, you'll see at the bottom, powered by Booker. That's really the only thing tying us back to it. We can select actually a service. So I'll just do a haircut here just for an example. I won't actually go through the full booking because this is real-time booking and I don't want to fill up a spot on them. But we'll
I don't know, man. Your hair is looking a little long. You might want to go ahead and book this time.
I know, it's funny.
Some split ends there, man. Zoom in. Right.
Yeah, just getting back to New York. I'm like an every 2 week. I go to the barber, and now I have to find a new one. Just moving back from Arizona, so that's put me a little bit in limbo. All right, so let's just pick this 10 to 10:45. I always like to draw the analogy here that this operates really the same way as any major airline would. So Booker is resource based, so it's going to pull all the different resources, be that time, be that hours of operation of the location, is an actual employee available that can provide that service, and it's going to give me an aggregate of all of those possibilities. Of course, I can trim down what you can see. You want to keep that kind of happy medium between having a full book, but also showing that you have enough room to take on new clients. But this is real time. It's not an appointment request. I'm sure we've all filled out, you click on the book an appointment or to reserve something, and it brings you to like that, old kind of clunky email request form where really you're just sent, and they ask you what are 6 different days and 5 different times that you could be available, and then it shoots it off, and then you have to wait for a response. This isn't going to operate that way. So this 10 to 10:45 is open. I will be with Chloe here, and then I click on this and I'm going to, enter my information.
That's awesome. So, what was the heart next to her name? Like all those seem to have heart written down.
Yeah, so depending on the different business type, you'll notice in some salons that they will level out their actual stylists. So My Reese does that. They have Heart, Lux, and Guru. Those are 3 different tiers, basically, of employees that they have.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Heart would be someone who's a little newer in the industry, maybe recently out of cosmetology school, and they're working there. Where someone who's a Lux stylist, they've been working there and been in the industry for 10 plus years.
Cool.
Awesome. So I'll just show this really quickly from here. It's a simple sign-in, of course, on your mobile device. It can remember this information. We don't ask a ton, just a little bit of information, first, last, email, and of course a password to create a login. From here, of course, you can put in your carrier, mobile phone, if you'd like to receive text messages. But after this point, really for me as a client, after I've created this and I log in, I just need to accept a cancellation policy. I can put down a credit card, so we're level 1 PCI compliant, so that allows us to be an end-to-end point-of-sale solution for our merchants as well. So of course, your time is your money. You want to build that culture around respecting that time and respecting your craft. So we always will allow our clients to take a deposit, hold the card for the reservation, or pay for this, have people pay for this service up front. Not super prevalent though within the beauty space. And of course, they have to accept a cancellation policy. After that, I'm on the books for 10:45. This shows up on the back end. The reservationist and the admin, they're going to get an email and a text letting them know, hey, we have a new appointment this day and this time, and I'm going to be on the books.
Cool.
Awesome. Just to kind of show here as well, when you think about this, just to throw a couple of things out there that are really important. Of course, I myself am a millennial. You look at 33% of millennials will never pick up a phone to book an appointment. So, a third of that, I think it's at almost like $1 trillion, or no, it's like 200 billion, I think the millennials are at in terms of spending power. When you think about cutting out or adding really, a third of that just by offering things like online booking or being able to sell gift certificates or bundles of services, which we call series online at any point in time, is extremely enticing. It also drives.
You're saying we shouldn't make them like fax in a reservation.
Right. Yeah. When you look at, yeah, exactly. And, it happens to me all the time. I just recently, I forgot ordering maybe food or lunch or something. And I looked to my friend next to me and I was like, I don't want to pick up the phone and call. And then it's like, if you can't do it, I'm like, okay, well, I can find someone else. So just allowing yourself to have that exposure after hours is totally key.
Right. I book my appointments online for haircuts. I love it. And they have the pre-check-in sort of thing. I'm like, amen. And I show up it's full. I just walk to the front of the line. It's like, why don't y'all get an app, people? Just, you can check in early.
Yeah. And I'm sure with you too, I mean, you have a busy business and professional career, and you also have a big family. So, your time is limited as well. You need to know, like, can I do this at this time?
Right.
And, be able to get that on the books, not have to be going back and forth juggling.
Yep. So,
awesome.
So this is hosted on your platform, your subdomain, right? So people would have their own website, and then when they click for the booking, and then that goes to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's a simple HTML strand.
Yeah.
I'll highlight right at the top. You just lay that behind a button or a specific web page.
Sure.
It'll tab out or refresh that URL. There's no coding necessary, nothing like that.
Right. But then, of course, they can skin it so it looks like their own website.
Yep. Yeah.
And exactly. I don't think most people care. What do you think?
Honestly, most people don't. It's really prevalent within the space that, I always use the word that like an engine handles your booking. So it's, for us, we notice two things. It's simplicity, and it's also being mobile friendly. Yep. With over 70% of online traffic happening on a mobile device, when you look at some competitors or someone who might have a little bit of an outdated, let me just kind of switch over. I want to make sure you can see this. When you look at, if they don't have a mobile friendly engine, it often, it hurts them.
Right.
So it's, we just kind of wanted to make this simple, make it streamlined, and allow it to, adjust for any device. But aside from that, industry standard, people are pretty, comfortable and used to seeing an actual engine that provides the booking.
So on the processing, are they just using their standard merchant account, and is it just included in the monthly subscription with Booker, or is there an extra fee for processing that order?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have integrated merchant partners, so 3 different ones. So we offer basically a match or beat policy when it comes to rates. We want to offer integrated processing for our customers as sheerly a benefit and something that makes their life easier, because they're not having to close out orders in a CRM and then go over to a credit card terminal, close that out, and at the end of the day, batch everything out and make sure it aligns. So they would need to use one of our merchant partners. But like I said, barring that they're not in a contract or anything like that, we can help. We have pre-negotiated corporate rates, so they're extremely competitive to begin with. But in that, scenario where we have someone that their rates are a little lower, barring that we don't take a total hit or a loss on every transaction, we'll bring that down. I've never had one actually that they couldn't, at least beat, even if it's by 100th of a percentile. You know what I mean?
So if somebody, just a walk-in comes in, they have to log into this portal and create a user account and process the order, and then they go back into Booker, or do they use their own point of sale system at that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So typically how we would look at that is, now we're kind of looking at the back end of Booker. If someone walks into my business, let's look at this. I'm taking the reins as a reservationist at this point. If someone walked in, I would go over to the orders tab. This is going to pull up basically our point of sale. You'll see it as a walk-in customer. So let's say it's Robin. She's a current client of mine. It's a responsive search. So I'll just select Robin Cascanet here, and then it's going to allow me to add services or products, whatever they're purchasing or coming in for.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So aside from that, if we look from a different angle, this could be pre-booked. So my schedule is a little empty for today, just starting out the week. But this is really what's kind of the master schedule. So we're going to have our employees, of course, across the x-axis here, and our time on the y. This scrolling yellow bar is going to keep track of time. Everything is built on a similar framework as Google Calendar. So think point and click, drag and drop, all of those functions are easy within Booker. So if someone called in, let's say, they didn't go online and book, they just called in and they wanted to book with Titus at 2 p.m., we would start typing the service. We're just going to do a blowout. So again, responsive search, and then the actual name of the client. So let's do Sarah. Sarah Searles, already a client. It's going to pull her information for me. It's also, if you see these little asterisks, if you have a new client that's calling in, as long as the name, email, and or phone number is filled out, we'll automatically generate a client profile within the CRM, and we'll start tracking everything back to that that's associated with Sarah and her information.
So a couple of questions.
Go for it.
On the merchant account, do you have like a card swipe deal? Or do they get that from you, or is that an option?
Yeah, so actually we work with a device called Clover Mini. So there's a few different devices within the Clover suite. So I'll make sure to, kind of explicitly say we work only with the Clover Mini device, but it's actually a client-facing payment terminal. It allows the actual consumer to be the one holding their card. It's EMV compliant, so we of course can use the chip and dip, no pun intended. They can do Apple Pay or any sort of contactless payment with that. They're able to select a tip amount, sign there, and it also doubles as a receipt printer. So it's way more advanced than just a good way to think of it. It's like the iPhone of payment processing devices. It's not like that old clunky terminal or that like Snickers sized card swiper that you'd see attached to the side of a monitor.
Right. You say Snicker? Now I'm hungry. All right. Now, so somebody books. Let's say they book with me, and I'm just doing my thing, right? I'm at my station. I'm working. How do I get notified so I know what's coming up?
Yeah. So within Booker, you have this setting when you're building out a an employee profile to alert the employee when someone books with them. So in this case, Titus would receive an email and a text letting him know that he has a new appointment.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So I'll finish booking this just so we can have one on the calendar. So after that, you're going to see it show up here.
Right.
There's lots of little intricate things within here that as you become kind of fluent in Booker, just help you run the business from like a high level glance, if that makes sense. So you'll notice a couple different icons here. The orange thumbs up means it was booked today. Of course, the crown means that this customer is a member of mine. There's a whole key here in terms of what that's going to do. We do have the pre-check-in, like you mentioned earlier. So as I check in as a client from my confirmation email, this changes to a blue thumbs up, of course, alleviating the amount of time, a reservationist spends every day, calling to manually confirm appointments. You can look on the book. If you see tomorrow everything's been confirmed, you're good to go. Or, you may have 4 or 5 people to reach out to rather than the traditional 30 or 40.
And so does it send like multimedia reminders, like email or text, hey, we have you booked for tomorrow at 10 a.m., press 1 to confirm, 2 to reschedule, 3 to cancel?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we kind of have 2 different versions of that. So stock with Booker, we'll start there. We're going to have these top 5 notifications are all set it and forget it and related to the service. Okay. So the confirmation would come by email. A reminder would come by text, but the text isn't two-way stock through Booker. We do offer our integrated marketing solution, Frederick, which is an acquisition of ours as of the past year and a half. So we do offer that as well. That does have the two-way texting, a little just kind of a different flavor of reminders, but of course the ones within Booker are quite robust as well. All of these 5 are sent by email and by text. Like I said, I'll click on the confirmation just so you can see the template of what it would look like. Of course, you can trim down this information. You don't have to show all of it. You can adjust your header, your footer, things like that. But this green button right here is a call to action. So when I click on that, that's what will actually confirm my appointment.
Right. Okay. So that's native. So if people want more advanced features, they could do the integration with Frederick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And
Yeah, but that's
go
cool.
ahead.
Probably most people, that's adequate, huh?
Yeah, for most people, honestly, this is a good starting point. I would say, the appointment confirmations and reminders with Frederick are a very small portion of what Frederick does as a whole. So it's, kind of at that point, if you want that advanced marketing, you might be at the point where want the two-way text. But honestly, getting the text reminder and, so many people have email on their phone that, every time
Right.
I get one of these from, a booker client that I see, I just confirm on my phone. It's just as easy.
Right. Now, are there notifications or like intelligence? Can it look and say, hey, Alex is normally every 2 weeks and we haven't seen him? Will it, like on day 15, will it send out a note? Alex, how you doing? You're probably kind of shaggy. Click here to pick a time.
Yeah, so that is where Frederick is going to come into play. So
Okay.
Frederick is going to provide the smart marketing, which is going to be, things that you just mentioned. So that would fall into right here, this rescue lost customers bucket, as well as like the reminder to book clients again. So within Frederick, what's nice is you can do it in a few different flavors. You can set up suggested services. So you could set it up. So I was on basically think like a drip campaign where Frederick reaches out to me and suggests like, hey, I think it's about time for you to get a haircut, rather than, the traditional just going straight for a discount. Of course, we also can take it that next step further, and you can do a drip campaign of discounts where you set the thresholds, and it'll, basically continually and slowly market to someone who you haven't seen in so many days, to try to bring them back in a little discount at a time.
Right. Cool.
Yep. And then, of course, the filling last minute openings is really great. This is a smart AI, so it gets to know your clients as they interact with you, and then it reaches out to them accordingly. So I always use the example of myself. When I was in Arizona, I went to the same guy, like I said, every 2 weeks. His name's Domingo. And literally, I only went on Saturdays between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. I never deviated from that. Of course, I worked Monday to Friday. At that point, 7 to 4, but now 9 to 6. But, I would never go during the day. So Frederick will get to know my behavior. And let's say he has a Saturday opening come up. It's been 3 weeks since I've been last in. Frederick will reach out to me and let's say 3 other people. It's not going to blast your entire database,
Right.
but it's also going to know as well, like if a Monday morning appointment comes up, it knows that that's never going to work for me because I've never booked during the week.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So just to kind of hop back, just so we kind of see the end to end, I want to just kind of close out this appointment, see how that translates over to the point of sale. We talked about that a little bit, and then we'll just touch on a couple more things, just so you can get a good full spread.
This can blast to your list, right? Does this replace like a constant contact?
Oh, yeah.
Weber?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
Frederick can handle full email blasts. It'll handle feedback and reviews. It calculates your NPS or your Net Promoter Score as well, and it'll bucket your clients out into those promoters, passives, and detractors. It'll take those 3 buckets and it'll help kind of hold those clients' hands and take them to the next best outlet. So a promoter who gives you a 10 out of 10 says that they would definitely refer you to a friend or a family member. Frederick is going to be like, hey, this is so awesome. We appreciate this. Would you mind posting this to Facebook or Twitter? Where if you think like a passive, it's going to be like, this is great feedback. We really appreciate it. Hope to see you soon. Was there anything we could have done to make it even better? And then the actual detractors, it's going to be like, hey, like, we apologize. Like, we want a chance to fix this. Not sure what happened. Fill this out. Let us know what happened. We want to be able to reach out and rectify this and give them an outlet if they didn't have a great experience to get that frustration out in a, productive environment rather than, taking the business to social or something like that.
Are those the people they put like the hot wax on and just rip off their eyebrows?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they shouldn't do that.
No,
Okay,
definitely
all right.
not.
I mean, that's why I don't have a salon. I mean, I just buzz one side of their head. What do you mean, one store? Yeah. But okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably hook someone up with a military fade. But yeah, so there's going to be a lot within Frederick. It's definitely, it's great for any established business. I'm sure you talk a lot about this in different arenas as well, Wes. But you know, bringing back in a client that we already have their information and already has been a client is always going to be cheaper than trying to go out for new acquisition. So
Yeah.
people that have a good database and a good chunk of clients to work with already, Frederick just allows them to capitalize on that.
Very cool. Yeah, this looks awesome.
Great. So I just did a quick right click on this appointment and clicked on take payment and check out. This side panel is actually a little new for us, but of course within this space, checking in and checking out is really important and it needs to move quickly and efficiently. So we built in this side panel. So essentially a reservationist can do anything while they're checking out an appointment. So if I pick up the phone as I'm checking this person out, I can book that appointment here while I'm continuing to check out. It doesn't have to change screens or reload windows.
Nice.
It's happening simultaneously.
Right.
So we'll just proceed to payment. It's going to
all
move forward.
browser-based too, right? So it can be on an iPad or a Mac or a PC.
Yeah, exactly. So this is 100% cloud-based. So as long as you have internet access and a device with a browser, you're going to be able to access the business. We do have merchant-facing apps for, of course, Apple and Android. We also do offer some merchants. We integrate with a company called Como, and we partner with them to offer our customers branded apps for their business. So if someone was interested in having, in this case, like an Adirondack salon app that their clients could download, click to call and book directly through there, we offer that as well. So we have the full mobile spectrum covered.
Right. Very cool.
Awesome. So you'll notice here, of course, I'm not really processing credit cards, so I don't have integrated processing, but you'll notice I do have a card on file. This is just to show, again, being level 1 PCI compliant, we can hold those cards. So if you have anyone that wants to keep a card on file, specifically Sarah in this case has a membership, you have to have a card on file, of course, for that auto build membership. We really dominate the market with this feature specifically. Most businesses within this space, if you think cryotherapy businesses, float spas, blow dry bars, they're all, and even a lot of massage businesses, they're heavily membership based. Small businesses, medium-sized businesses being able to easily and really without having to do anything to bill credit cards every single month and build up some, monthly reoccurring revenue is really important. They're not having to go through with literally you see people that they'll have books of credit card numbers that they go through and they manually punch in every month and bill their card, $150 for their membership. Like that, it just takes way too much time and is not the safest.
Yeah, for real.
So we'll just do cash for this. So I'm just going to do the 48.74, make it exact, and we'll be able to complete this order. Of course, this is a transaction that's occurring in Booker. So now the appointment's closed out, and this has been tracked on Sarah's profile. So we're tracking how many times she visits, what services she gets, how much money she's spending, everything like that.
Right.
Of course, you can email these receipts too or print them right out.
Right.
If you want to go green, you don't have to print them. Cool. So let's on that same vein, let's pull up my client profile really quickly. I want to show this. The power of a CRM is often, I feel like, underappreciated. But having your clients all in one place and being able to drill down on those clients is so important. So just as an overview, of course, you can have pictures of your clients. Like I said, we're going to track that basic sales information here. We have a few tabs up here across the top, but what's most important to point out is just this tracking. So having time and date stamp progress notes. So if someone sees a different person, think in a med spa where someone's coming in for laser treatments, you're going to want to put in notes at the end of every session saying, worked on the left arm, things went really well, is going to need 2 more sessions, and have that time and date stamped with your name. Of course, any recent appointments, orders are actually closed out, or product purchases, being able to click this buy again. So many people within this space will come in and they're like, I got this face cream last time. I don't know. I got it like 4 months ago. It was great. I don't know what it is. They can pull this up. They can just, the reservationist can click right here and purchase that again for them.
Right.
Of course, any formulas for color, allergies, medications we'll be able to store here as well.
Right.
And then taking that a step further, if we go back here, when you were talking about the mass mailing and things like that, we also basically offer a customizable query of your clients. So at any point you can drill down on your clients manually to see, I want to see all of my members that were in last month for a blowout. You can see that. Or Mother's Day is coming up and you want to market to all of your female clients, let's say. You'll be able to go through and do that here. There's even more filters that you can drill down with. But this actually is what we'll use for the mass mailing as well. Of course, this is exportable and you can save these as reports. You can run them, week over week, month over month.
How much customization is allowed in here?
Quite a bit. So pretty much every field within the client profile, you're able to drill down on within, this is kind of stock, what would come with the Booker package. So, kind of what you see here, going a little bit further down to preferences, billing, if they're a member. These are kind of all the different fields that you can add as a filter. But fields within the client profile.
Add other fields like, colors or nails, things like that.
So on our basic, we offer 3 kind of out of the box solutions. We offer a basic, a standard, and a plus package. The basic and the standard come with stock sets. The plus comes with a stock set and then also allows for the addition of custom fields to the client profile.
Okay. So basic, standard, and what?
Basic, standard, and plus.
Plus. Okay, cool.
Those are 3 different package tiers. Yeah.
Very nice.
Most people will fall into the standard category. The people that you think that really want kind of the custom fields are more like med spas that are doing kind of like an intake questionnaire, not like an intake form, but just a questionnaire so they can get a good background on their skin, any prior treatments they've had, things like that.
Right.
Great. Very quickly, just to touch the schedule, we are going to handle payroll. So for you as an administrator, we can handle commission structures, hourly wages, or salary structures. You can build out the client profiles, the employee profiles with their set schedule. You'll have that right here, and we also function as a time clock, which is just nice in terms of saving time on payroll. We'll auto run payroll for you and do everything except for physically cutting the check. You can even give your accountant a reporting level login to run that themselves so they can just log in. They only have access to the certain reports that you assign to them, and they can run payroll and cut the checks.
Cool.
Nice. We kind of went through marketing, so we'll skip over that. A full product and inventory suite, of course, within this space that's really prevalent to be selling product, and that's also a huge source of revenue for these businesses. So we're going to manage that for you. Everything from managing your vendors, electronically creating purchase orders, tracking sales, alerting you when you're low, when you need to reorder, when you've hit par, and even tracking products that you use for professional use.
Right.
Yeah. So there's going to be some different things we can do there. but overall, this is pretty stock.
Right.
The professional use is great just because as like, let's say you use 10 milliliters of, if you see this face cream here, I have it set up so I use 10 milliliters of this every time I do an anti-aging facial. So after 5 of those anti-aging facials with it set at 50 milliliters, it's going to remove one of these from stock. So I always have a good grip on what's actually there. I'm not just like looking, tipping my head over, looking at the shelf, and I'm like, yeah, we've got it. You'll be able to actually know and track that.
Right. Okay. I like it.
Awesome. Cool. So any questions there? And then I just wanted to kind of touch on a report real quick,
Right.
and kind of show that. And I think we should be good to go.
Sure.
All right. Awesome. So one of my clients' favorite aspects of Booker, whenever you're a business owner, you're just, let's be honest, you're obsessed with your business, is giving people access to easily digestible information about their business.
Right.
It's hard looking at spreadsheet after spreadsheet and trying to do cross-analysis. It's easy with Booker to look at a dashboard and look at something, that makes sense. So I hate that the business intelligence dashboard doesn't show well on a demo account because, of course, I don't have actual attributed, bookings, but we will handle that. So like anyone that books through, we have a direct integration with Google. So anyone who books directly through Google, we're going to track for you automatically, how much that's resulting in sales, what the average order is, and are they new or returning customers.
Right.
So this is extremely important just so you can see, if you are spending marketing dollars, of course, you can build out your own custom campaigns just for you to be able to see like, hey, I ran this magazine ad. Not a single person that's come in this month has mentioned to the, reservationist that they, saw that and that's why they're there. But on the flip side, just by having a free, integration with Google, that's driving on average, 5 new customers a month, which is amazing. Like let's kind of push that a little further and maybe pull the spend on the ad.
Right.
Also, kind of like end game, we have about 110 different reports within Booker, but the visual dashboard is definitely a favorite. This runs on the mobile app as well. So this is literally what you think of what someone is going to be looking at when they like roll over in the morning and pick up their phone off the nightstand. They want to see how they did yesterday. They're going to run this report. So you can run this by year, you can run this by week, by month, or by specific criteria. This just gives you an overall on the business. So it's going to trend your appointments. So 96 over my average of 416. That's a difference between managing a team of sales reps or being a sales rep the year prior.
Right.
You're going to have your top services by quantity and revenue, your top customers by expenditure or visit, your total revenue, how many new customers you've acquired, how busy you are by days of the week. This is really good to know. If you ever want to offer a special, we're definitely not going to want to offer a special on Thursday. We're going to want to offer it on Friday. Sure. And then out of a total aggregate of your employees' availability, how many are on the schedule, what's the total usage look like, and how much of your schedule is being booked.
Yeah. Very nice.
Awesome. Well, it was good to take you through everything.
Yeah.
Just to really see and show what we can do for people. And this isn't coming at a $400 or $500 a month price tag or coming with a 4 or 5 year contract either. We're a month to month software subscription that is less than a cell phone bill.
Wow. So one thing I want to ask, where do you see like new clients? Are they coming from paper and like multiple system chaos, Google Calendar and Excel, or are they leaving another platform? Where do you see people typically coming from?
Yeah, great question. So it's mixed bag, to be honest. We do have people that are leaving other solutions. And when we look at that, it's typically people that are outgrowing a current solution that has lesser features. So Booker is, at the top of the list in terms of functionality. So we have a lot of people that maybe they're just starting out their business. It's just them or one other person in a small studio, and they're using a simpler solution that just provides scheduling, let's say.
Right.
And they're using that and it's working fine. And then they get to the point and they have enough clients that they're like, we don't know how to reach back out to these people, or I have too many people texting me, so many
Right.
people saying like, I just need to get them to stop texting me.
Right.
However you can do that will help.
Right.
And then they kind of come to us. So there's kind of a natural evolution there if they're coming from another provider, but a huge chunk of people are still on pen and paper. And when we look at barriers, it's usually a fear of change. Like there's a sense of, I won't be able to control my business and I'm not going to be able to keep a good track of my book. But it's not really the case. Booker is so customizable that, you go through, we help you build it out. We have an amazing onboarding team and onboarding coaches. We'll make sure everything's set up just as you need it to be so that you can actually run your business with, a higher level of visibility than you would with your, pen and paper book.
Sure. Okay. Very cool, man. Well, we will link to your software. This has been, it's really cool. I haven't seen under the hood in over a year. So it was good seeing this. And I will definitely get the word out. So,
all right,
man, Alex Lalonde, thanks for taking time. Thanks for putting the brush down, okay, putting the products down, and showing us Booker. It really is very nice. And I'm surprised on the month-to-month contract and the pricing. So this is something people definitely need to look at.
Yeah, 100%. Our pricing is on our website. We're very open about that. So anyone feel free, like Wes said, link off, and you'll definitely be able to check that out.
All right. Thank you, sir. All the way from New York, Alex Lalonde, Booker. Thanks for coming on the CRM Sushi Podcast, man. It's been great.
Thanks so much, Wes. Have a good one.
All right, you too.